Hello my dear students, welcome back. Today I am here with the second part of the chapter, that structure and composition of the atmosphere. Hope all of you have seen the first part of this video so that you easily can link up with the second part, where I am going to discuss the structure of the atmosphere. In the first part I have described and explained about the composition, composition of the atmosphere. Here students, in the structure of the atmosphere, see what are the different layers of the atmosphere are there, which already I have talked about in that previous part when I have talked about this homosphere and heterosphere, the main two layers. Now here I will discuss here the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and exosphere, their characteristics, all that features whatever present in these layers. Here I already have drawn these that structure. You can get to see from this art according to the height how these all the layers having spatial that features. So be with me to know the characteristic of the feature about these layers. Now students, just I am going to tell about the different characteristic of the lowest that layer of the atmosphere, that is troposphere. So this is troposphere. You are getting to see 0. This is the ground or the surface. From this 18 kilometer it extends. Here you are getting to see, here I have tried to draw that helicopter and one kite. In this height basically we can see they move or they fly. Now some more important point about this troposphere, see and memorize properly. Troposphere, this term has been derived from the term tropos. That tropos means turbulence, mixing or change. So what kind of turbulence? Like any kind of weather, that also we can say atmospheric activity. It can be thunderstorm, it can be lightning, it can be precipitation in the form of rain, hail and in the form of snow. We can see in this layer. Even different kind of gas, dust, particles mix in this layer. That's why it is known as the troposphere. It is the turbulence also we can see, mixing of the gases and changing of the atmospheric conditions. Here it extends 0 to 18 kilometers above the earth's surface. Then with the high temperature decrease, that is very important point of this troposphere. When we are going higher altitude from the surface, the temperature it also gradually decrease. That which rate? At a rate of 6.4 degrees centigrade per kilometer or per 1 kilometer. That is known as lapse rate. This term you will get to see in coming chapters, in another chapters also, lapse rate. So that time if you are not known what is lapse rate, you will not be able to understand with the high temperature decrease. Next, all the atmospheric activities including precipitation, rain, hail, snow, thunderstorm, lightning, everything we can get to see in this troposphere layer. Next, it is the layer where haze and dust present. Haze and dust, different particles present, which actually cause pollution. Another most important, sometimes students ask that, ma'am, if it is the with the height, the temperature decreasing, the pressure with the, what is the relation between that mixing of the gases or the density and the pressure when we are going to that hilly areas? When we are going to the hilly areas, that time altitude is increasing, height increasing, means the density of the gases decreasing. When the density of the gases decreasing, we are carrying oxygen mask, oxygen cylinder with us, and the temperature also decreasing. Why? Because when the density is decreasing, becoming thinner, it is having less capacity to hold the temperature. But the lower layer having more capacity to hold the temperature. So these are the characteristics of this troposphere layer, and obviously you have to draw in the exam if it is asking that what are the structure of the layers with explanation of different layers. You have to draw that. So I am going to tell about stratosphere here. Now students, I am going to tell about the characteristic or the features of stratosphere layer. The second lowest one from the surface. Here from this diagram you are getting to see Here a weather balloon, it also basically used to fly or move in this layer, and aeroplanes also we can see in this stratosphere layer. This weather balloon which actually used to collect that weather different conditions. It can be pressure, it can be humidity, or weather reports used to collect, and planes basically it fly in this stratosphere layer which extends from 18 to 50 kilometer height. Okay, now here this layer it separated from this troposphere layer by this layer, that is boundary, which is known as tropopause. It is known as tropopause. It means troposphere pausing here, then stratosphere starting. Troposphere pausing here, then the stratosphere starting. And here this layer, another very important that characteristics, that one of the most important gas, O3 or ozone, here in this layer it present, O3. You know that this O3, how it means that save our life. It actually absorb the ultraviolet rays, or it help to prevent the entering of the harmful ultraviolet rays in that earth. And if this layer will not be there, so this due to that presence of ultraviolet ray, this total living being, it can totally destroy, it can be damaged. Even the aquatic ecosystem can be damaged. It means do that blindness of that animals or the human beings. Even it directly attack in our skin melanin layer, and due to that it can cause skin cancer. So this O3 layer which is present in that height of 20 to 30 kilometer, and this is known as ozonosphere. This is known as ozonosphere. This ozonosphere, sometimes it asks that which layer of the atmosphere the presence of O3 gas we can get to see. So you have to write in the stratospheric layer within 20 to 30 kilometer, this ozonosphere we can get to see presence of O3. Next is the point is that we have seen the troposphere with the height temperature it decrease, which known as the lapse rate. But just opposite here we will get to see the stratosphere layer with the height, with the higher altitude, temperature it will increase here, which is known as the inversion of temperature, to opposite inversion of the temperature. And sometime at a certain height the temperature can be stable. Okay, so this is the another characteristic, most important characteristic of stratosphere. Next, in this layer, that feathery cirrus cloud we can see. From this cloud that we can't expect any that precipitation. Okay, next is there no atmospheric activities. Like troposphere, we have seen that all the atmospheric activity due to presence of that, it is known as the turbulence layer or the troposphere. The rain, that thunderstorm, hail, and the lightning, all we can see there. But here in the stratosphere layer, this kind of any activities we can't see. So next we will get to know mesosphere. Next students, we are going to know about this mesosphere layer. Mesosphere just above this stratosphere. You are getting to see here it extends just above a stratosphere 50 to 80 kilometer. And here the most important thing that where in the troposphere layer temperature it decreased with the height, stratosphere temperature increased. Next point, due to that reflected sunlight from meteoric dust particles, that wispy cloud we can get to see in this mesosphere layer. One more thing, that in between mesosphere and stratosphere, which boundary present there, that is known as stratopause. It is known as stratopause. So here stratosphere is pausing here. Okay, so here stratosphere pausing here, that's why mesosphere starting. Clear? So these are the important points of the features about mesosphere. Now students, one of the most important layer, that is ionosphere. About that I am going to tell that what are the main important features of ionosphere. Here I have done this plus and minus, means that I am exchanging that positive and negative, that charge basically it form here, occur here. Due to that, these layers, it is having a special name, that is ionosphere. Here it extends 80 to 480 kilometer. Now here some points I have written. It extends to 80 to 480. Already I have told that in this layer, ionization of molecules, whatever these gases present in this layer, that it basically ionize, the ionization happen due to the presence of ultraviolet rays, gamma rays and X-rays. Okay, and due to that, the free and independent molecules, it gradually, it basically sometimes it add with the other molecules and sometimes it extract, and due to that electric charge it form there in this layer. Next is here, this layer basically temperature decrease with the increase of height. Again this temperature in this layer, it with the height it gradually decrease, and when it reach to minus 100 degrees centigrade, then sudden change, that after certain height again the temperature started to increase with the height. Okay, first decrease at a particular height, and then when it will be reach minus 100 degrees centigrade, then again the temperature start to rise. Here presence of rarefied gases, very light gases present here. We will get to see in the troposphere layer, maximum gas, the domination it was nitrogen and that oxygen gas. Even in the stratosphere and mesosphere we will see the same composition. That's why the homosphere layer, it is known as the homosphere. But this ionosphere, the mix or the composition of this layer, we will see the nitrogen and oxygen gas, it will gradually decrease, and the dominant of that we can see that hydrogen and helium gas will be maximum in this layer. And one of the most important point here, that it reflects that radio waves. Radio waves, we all used to listen the radio, even in the village area, in that remote areas, people even now also they use the radio for different broadcast, for different news. They used to that listen radio. But how, at which kind of frequency it used to absorb and it used to reflects, that I am going to tell here. First here, see that radio waves can be made in three types, mainly three types. First is low frequency wave, low frequency wave, low frequency waves, which is known as low frequency wave. Actually waves are frequency we used to measure in hertz, the unit hertz. So low frequency wave, it will be when it will be 3 hertz to 30 kilohertz, it will be, then it is known as low frequency wave. Then when the frequency it will be more than that, it is known as medium frequency wave. Medium frequency waves. Here see, it is how changing. Here it is 30, till then after that 300 kilohertz to 3 megahertz. Megahertz. It is known as medium frequency wave. Number 3, it is high frequency wave. High frequency waves, where if we will see the frequency, it will be here 3 megahertz. So 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. Okay, here students, only this low frequency wave, it reflects by this ionosphere layer. Okay, and rest these two, it absorbed by this layer. Rest is these medium and high frequency waves, that only absorbed by this ionosphere layer. And here low frequency waves, it reflects. That's why we can hear or we can listen that radio. Okay. Now students, we have reached to the last point or the last layer of the atmosphere, that is the exosphere. Before going to explain that, here I have just forgotten to tell, between that ionosphere and mesosphere one boundary is there which is known as mesopause. Mesopause means the mesosphere pausing here. Okay. So these three layers, it was the part of homosphere. Now this ionosphere and exosphere part of the heterosphere. Okay. Now here exosphere, in this the main point, this is the outermost layer, outermost, that which extends that 480 to 10,000 kilometer, which is known as the vacuum layer, and where we can get to see the presence or the predominant of that rarefied gas, that helium and hydrogen. And here this layer basically mainly the satellites which we used to that we can say that send to the space, that in this layer it present. Okay, so hope you have understood these 5 layers. Student, this question used to come in the exam, that explain about the structure of the atmosphere. That time maybe the diagram it can ask, it cannot be asked, but this is your responsibility to draw this diagram even without asking, to score high. Okay, so be with me to know more information about this chapter in the next part of the video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.